So this is not a performance tonight. It's a pray-formance, you know. We need your voices tonight to sing with us. Even if you're uncomfortable singing, try to hum with us. The lights are going to come down soon, I hope. But the beautiful melody here is an invitation for all of you to join us. Maybe we can just sing together without the words to this beautiful song. Just a melody together, yeah? You guys with us? With us together, yeah? Behind me, you guys with us? You're with us here? You're with us? Let's sing together, okay? Thank you. No. So we're also, that's good. I'm happy. Thank you. So we're not going to clap tonight. I know it's odd not to clap, but, you know, because we're with you together, right? We're singing together tonight. And it's so beautiful to be in song here tonight. The Jewish, well, first of all, I'm David Ingber. I'm the rabbi of a unique synagogue on the west side called Romemu, but here I'm the senior director for Jewish Life in the Bronfman Center. And it's an honor to commemorate and celebrate tonight. Even though we are on Shilhei, we're at the end of Yom HaShoah, which is almost out here. We are still basking in both the beauty of its celebration and the sublimity of how time is commemorated in our tradition. Before there was holy people, before there was holy land, there was holy time. Vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vayikadesh oto. The very first institution of holiness was the sanctity of time, or as Heschel put it so beautifully, a cathedral in time, palace in time. So these 3 days that the tradition has us move through, and we move through them every year: Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, Yom Hazikaron, Israel's Memorial Day, and Yom Ha'atzmaut, Israel's Independence Day. They're an unending, annual, moving through vehicles for values, our holidays. Moadei Hashana, Passover, Sukkot, Shavuot, Purim, Chanukah, they're all holidays in the tradition, but these 3 days known as the Yamim or the Yoms, the 3 days of Shoah, Zikaron, and Atzmaut, are also Moadim, they're also Chagim, they're also holidays, and they are modern Moadim. Yom HaShoah is our annual reminder of the depths of depravity that humanity, in its never-ending quest to find new ways to hate Jews, in the 20th century, we reached its absolute, unimaginable and irreducible and unfathomable depths in the horrors of the Shoah. Our people learned there and then that the safest place in the world for us to be Jews would have to be the state of Israel, which would be the phoenix rising from the ashes of Auschwitz that would make possible Yom Hazikaron and its exacting payment from all of its citizens and its people, and thus was the price of freedom. But Yom HaShoah reminded us that we are the people of memory. We are the people who remember deep in our own hearts and in our bodies what took place in Europe, and we have vowed never to forget. And one could not have imagined, I think, even last year at this time, last Yom HaShoah, Yom HaZikaron, Yom Ha'atzmaut, that the Shoah would come to visit us on October 7th. But this time the story was different. But we will never forget them. And so as Shira will rise to light the candle, we commemorate the first of the 3 Yamim, the first of the 3 Yoms, Yom HaShoah, to the 6 million who were murdered, the 1 million children, and a world that was silent. We shall never forget you. Never. In our first offering tonight, the beautiful poem song written by the great Chana Senesh, Eli, Eli.
Eli, Eli, שלא ייגמר לעולם החול והים, רישוש של המים ברק השמיים, תפילת האדם, החול והים, רישוש של המים ברק השמיים, תפילת האדם.
שלא ייגמר לעולם החול והים, רישוש של המים ברק השמיים, תפילת
Zog niet keinmal. These words were written by a man named Hirsch Glick in the Vilna ghetto when he heard news of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. Now, this song has always had a very special meaning on my heart because my grandparents, Sam and Sarah Schoffer of blessed memory, were also in the Vilna ghetto and went on to escape through the sewer systems and fight as partisans for the duration of the war. And this song is known as the Partisan song, an anthem of survival, and my Zeta taught me the words to it. So this is for my Bobby and Zeta tonight. Never say that the end has come for you, though heavy skies may be concealing days of blue, because the hour we have hungered for is near. Beneath our feet the earth shall tremble, we are here, because the hour we have hungered for is near. Beneath our feet the earth shall tremble, we are here. Zoek niet keinmal als du gehst dem letzten Weg, wenn ich himlen bleien her, verstehen bleie Tag. Kommen wird noch unser ois Gebet geschah. Es wird appointen uns der Trott, wir seinen da. Kommen wird noch unser ois Gebet geschah. Es wird appointen uns der Trott, wir seinen da. Von grünem Palmiland bis Weideland von Schnee. Wir kommen an mit unser Pein, mit unser Weh. Und wo gefallen es, es spritzt von unser Blut. Sputzen bittet unser Gwure, unser Mut. Because the hour we have hungered for is near. Beneath our feet the earth shall tremble. We are here.
As we move from Yom HaShoah, the first of the Yamim, into Yom Hazikaron, in our commemoration. In a moment, Shir Dicker, if you could come up and light the candle. We have a request from you, but just in a moment. I find myself throughout Yom HaZikaron every year thinking about a line from the liturgy, from the Chagim, from Rosh Hashanah. And last night at Kilat Yeshurun, at a beautiful tekes, a beautiful ritual that transitioned between Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaTzmaut, between Israel's Memorial Day and its independence, I shared this phrase that always comes back to me. We in our tradition believe that many of our moral and ethical behaviors can be rooted in a principle called imitatio Dei. It means to imitate God. The Talmud in a number of places says, Mahu rachum, just as God is compassionate, afata rachum, you should also be compassionate. Mahu malbish arumim, God clothes the naked, you should also do it. God is patient, we should be patient. And then there's this phrase that they don't mention, of course, the liturgy is written quite a bit after the Talmud, but I wonder if maybe they would agree with me. And the phrase is that on Rosh Hashanah, which is also known as Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembering, we say, Ki zocher kol hanishkachot ata. You, God, are the one who remembers all of those who are forgotten. So So on Yom Hazikaron, as a crazy world speaks about our holy men and women of the IDF, the soldiers who gave their lives to defend Medina Israel and to defend the Jewish people everywhere. Over 25,000 men, women, and children who've lost their lives in the wars of Israel and in terrorist attacks. I know that we imitate God in saying we won't forget them. Ki zocher kol hanishkachot anachnu. We won't let them be forgotten by a world that often does, by a world that, like my friend Rabbi Yafa Epstein, who lost her 19-year-old nephew and wonders if the world cares. Or as our amazing shlicha here at the 92nd Street Y, Michal Abramov, shared yesterday, her commander, or mefaked, in her unit, who didn't die in the wars but died as a result of them because of the trauma and the emotional pain that he experienced and took his own life. We remember him and all of the families. We light a candle for them tonight.
התשמע קולי רחוקי שלי, התשמע קולי באשר הנך, קול קורא בעוז, קול בוכה בנמי, ומעל הזמן מצווה ברכה.
תבל זו רבה ודרכים ברא, נפגשות לדעת, נפרדות
מבקש אדם אך כושלות רגליו, לא יוכל למצוא את אשר עבר, אחרון ימיו כבר קרוב אולי, כבר קרוב היום של דמעות פרידה, אחכה לך עד יכבו חיי, כחכות רחל, כחכות רחל, כחכות רחל לדודה.
תשמע קולי רחוקי שלי.
Hatishma Koli is such a beautiful Hebrew question. Can you hear my voice? Can you hear me? You know, we have in the tradition in Torah, we have the great matriarch Sarah, who was barren for so many years, wanting to have a child. And by the time chapter 21 of the book of Genesis arrives, Vadonai pakadet Sarah kasher amar, and God remembered Sarah. Our kavanah, our prayer is that all of the prayers of the mothers are heard. All of the tears are gathered. Because it's a crazy world. It's a crazy world right now. Have people heard of Rav Nachman of Breslev? Anybody hear of Rav Nachman? Yeah? Some Rav Nachman people? Don't let that scare you. Rav Nachman, I can say it, it's okay. Rav Nachman, yeah? Rav Nachman. Nachman. He was the great-grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, of the founder of the Hasidic movement. And he was famous for a lot of things. One was that he was extremely idiosyncratic. He would dance in the streets and was always interested in being happy. He told his Hasidim, his devotees, to be happy all the time. Mitzvah gedolah liot b'simcha tamid. It's good to be happy when you're doing a good deed. Towards the end of his life, he started telling stories, and one of his most well-known stories is called The Story of the Tainted Wheat. It's a very short story. Some actually compared him and said that Kafka was rooted in early Rav Nachman literary. His genre was similar in some ways, very otherworldly. So he told a crazy story. He said, there was once a kingdom where the entire wheat harvest had become tainted. And the king's advisor came in hurriedly to the king and said, Your Majesty, all of the wheat in your land has become tainted. Anyone who eats from it will become instantly insane. And so the king was, of course, shocked. But the advisor calmed him down and said, it's okay. I have a special granary where we've kept wheat for you alone and your family. You'll be able to eat from the untainted wheat. Sounds good, right? The king said, no. What kind of king would I be if I don't eat what my people are eating, if I don't know what they're experiencing? So he said, Your Majesty, but you can't. He said, yes, I can. He said, but you'll go insane. You'll lose touch with reality. You'll be tainted like the wheat. And the king said, no, I have to eat the tainted wheat. But this is what we'll do, he said. We'll place red dots, each of us, on our forehead, so that after we've eaten the wheat, and we are indeed no longer in consensual reality, we will look one to the other, and knowing that we've eaten the wheat, we'll be able to lead. All it takes is one person to look at in a crazy world and say, the place has gone mad. Are you seeing that too? And they say, yeah, it's a mad world. It's crazy. And you call your friend up in the morning and say, really? Has it come to this now? And they say, yeah, you're seeing it straight. You got it. This kind of, I'll look at you, you look at me. And if the whole world will be crazy, at least we'll have one another to remember. And in that, we can be above the mad, mad, mad world.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles. It's a very, very mad world. Mad world.
Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. And I feel the way that every child should sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me, look right through me. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very
Mad world. Mad world. Mad world. Mad world.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shira Averbuch. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm also the artist in residence at Bnei Jeshurun Synagogue on the west side. The next song I'm going to do is an original song that I co-wrote with Susan Lax, who's an author and spiritual counselor. Her very, very good friend, Vivian Silver, died in the massacre of Be'eri on October 7th. For those of you who don't know Vivian Silver, haven't heard of her, she was a peace activist, the kind that dedicates her entire life to walking in peace. Not looking for the path for peace, but walking in it. And we decided to dedicate this song to her because she could always find a little bit of light even in the darkest times. And we need it right now.
Hey Joy, it's me. I'm calling out to you. I know that you're there. I was told I just have to invite you. Hey Joy, it's me. I'm calling out to you. I heard there's a space where you patiently wait. Can you show up now? Hey Joy, it's me. I'm calling out to you. Hey Joy, it's me. I'm calling out to you. You've been here before. This one's a tough one. I need you. Offer a way
to balance in just one sweet moment. Hey, joy, it's me. I'm calling out to you. Hey, joy, it's me. I'm calling out to you. Hey, joy, you're here. I feel you in every entrance, always within me, opening doors to my heart. Hey, joy, you're here. I'm so glad I called you. Hey, joy, you're here. If just for a moment. Hey, joy, it's me. I'm calling out to you.
Last night at that tekes, at the ritual, the ceremony last night, the remarkable Rabbi Angela Buchtal from Central Synagogue, many of you, I'm sure, are her congregants, or she said something that really touched me. She was speaking about the capacity to hold many things at once, holding sadness and joy, holding grief and new life, holding Yom Hazikaron, the day of remembering lost soldiers and those who were victims of terror, and also holding this turn into Yom Ha'atzmaut. And the capacity to hold two things at once is a pretty important human capacity, isn't it? Our capacity to hold things that sometimes feel mutually contradictory or complex, nuanced maybe even. I remember growing up, when I was in yeshiva, they had a phrase, Yesh makom barosh l'shnei tefillin. It's an interesting Talmudic phrase that there's enough space, the Talmud says, for two phylacteries on the head. And so it was usually a phrase around pluralism. There was enough room in the head for two ideas, or in a community for two. But I think it's also the case that the heart, can hold even more than 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, many different things. And they're not always in order, are they? They're always perfectly set up, like in an organized fashion. So that when we say on Sukkot, on the holiday of the harvest in the fall, the tradition has it that we read Ecclesiastes, who apparently had a time for everything under the sun. He said there was a time for crying and a time for laughing, a time for reaping, a time for sowing and a time for reaping, a time for building and a time for building. We're taking things down. But the great Yehuda Amichai, the great poet of Israel, wrote a poem that was slightly subversive to Ecclesiastes. And the title of his poem was A Man in His Life. And this is very much what Rabbi Buchtal said last night. A man in his life has no time to have time for everything. He has no room to have room for every desire. Ecclesiastes was wrong to claim that. A man has to hate and love all at once, with the same eyes to cry and to laugh, with the same hands to throw stones and to gather them. Make love in war and war in love, and hate and forgive and remember and forget, and order and confuse and eat and digest what long history does in so many years. A man in his life has no time. When he loses, he seeks. When he finds, he forgets. When he forgets, he loves. When he loves, he begins forgetting. And his soul is knowing and very professional. Only his body remains an amateur, always. It tries and fumbles. He doesn't learn and gets confused, drunk and blind in his pleasures and pains. In autumn, he will die like a fig, shriveled, sweet, full of himself. The leaves dry out on the ground, and the naked branches point to the place where there is time for everything. Even so, though, as we turn from remembering the soldiers and the victims of terror towards the bright light that is Yom Ha'atzmaut, we turn.
To everything, turn. There is a season, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything, turn. There is a season, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything, turn. There is a season, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, a time for peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything, turn. There is a season, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to mend, a time to sow. A time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late.
May 14th, 1948. A 9-stanza poem written by a Galician in the 19th century named Rabbi Ingber. A song and poem that had been whittled down to just 2 stanzas by the time it was sung in Bergen-Belsen in 1945, 5 days after the camp was liberated. The transitions in our tradition from the ashes of despair to relationship and to hope and to visions and dreams is sometimes almost impossible. It's almost like whiplash for the soul. It's like, wow. A soldier last night at the tekes, at the ceremony, named Shai Bernstein, the son of one of my teachers at Ramaz, and my family's teacher at Ramaz when we went to school there, who was here in America with his family. When he heard about October 7th, immediately boarded a plane on October 8th, leaving behind his 3 children under the age of 10 and his wife, Naama, and was immediately sent into Gaza. And he spoke about friends that were lost, spoke about what it was like to be there, and then the most unbelievable stretch imaginable, he would fly back to the United States when he would be given a week off, and he flew back a couple of times, and he told us, try to imagine what it is to be on a phone call a couple of days after being in Gaza and saying, like, we're trying to maximize user experience in our platform. Like, crazy. But our Israeli brothers and sisters have become, unfortunately, or fortunately for their spirit, able to decode so differently in different ways at different moments. And one of the things that's remarkable about Israel that I love so much and think about so often is how when I land there, I feel like Ani ve'ata, me and you, one relationship, one friend, one community, we can change the world. And thus has it always been in the Jewish tradition. In a world where there are no people or mensches, be a mensch, all it takes is one and one other together to change the universe. Arik Einstein know that very well. Ani ve'ata, me and you together, just one, we can change the world.
אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה, אז יבואו כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, זה לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. La 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 la, la 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 la.
אני ואתה ננסה מההתחלה, יהיה לנו רע, אין דבר, זה לא נורא. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, זה לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה, אז יבואו כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, זה לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. לה 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 לה, לה 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 לה.
I think a lot about what I'm going to take away from this Yom HaTzmaut, this Yom Hazikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut. I grew up in Israel. I was there until 2 years ago. And, the transition between Zikaron and Atzmaut was always really strange and kind of hard. But as a kid, it was just a fun thing to do and to go out at night and to celebrate. As an adult, it challenged my understanding a lot of what that means to pass between sadness and happiness. And I was thinking about this Yom HaAtzmaut. I was thinking about how we can celebrate. I didn't feel like celebrating. And with all the devastation of October 7th, I started thinking about October 8th. And I started thinking about how on October 8th, I was reminded actually, because I forgot about this. It might have even been that afternoon on October 7th. I took my guitar and I told my wife I'm going to the JCC. And I went to the JCC and there were so many people there. And we just sang that song, Anivata. We just sang Anivata. And I remember thinking, forget about my life, that's going to change. Israel's going to change. And I just was thinking about how I wasn't there and how I missed that change. And that made me feel really guilty. And over time, I started thinking that, wow, this devastation and this horrible, horrible event also did something that brought everyone together. Something I still feel until this day, with all the craziness and all this mad world. I still feel like we've all changed. Not just in Israel, all the Jews around the world. All the people that I consider sane, at least. It's not just Jews. And I heard somebody say this, and I want to say it too. I want to be an October 8th Jew. I want to be an October 8th Jew, a Jew that grabs a guitar and goes and sings and everybody sings together and to remember that, to think about the October 8th and how we've all changed, how we can move on to a better, hopefully sane world. And it's going to take a lot of work. We might not even see it in our lifetime, but maybe we will. So usually I would sing this song really happy and I would stand up and I would start dancing, but we're going to do this next song a little different, but hope you'll join us. אני נולדתי אל המנגינות ואל השירים של כל המדינות. נולדתי לשון וגם למקום, למעט להמון, שיושיט יד לשלום. אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יגיע. אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יבוא. אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יופיע. אני רוצה להיות כבר בו.
אני נולדתי אל החלום, ובו אני רואה שיבוא שלום. נולדתי לרצון ולאמונה שהנה הוא יבוא אחרי 70 שנה. אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יגיע. אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יבוא.
אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יופיע. אני רוצה להיות כבר בו.
נולדתי לאומה ולשנים 2000 שמורה לאדמה ולחלקת שמיים והיא רואה צופה. הנה עולה היום והשעה יפה, זוהי שעת שלום. אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יגיע. אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יבוא.
אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יופיע. אני רוצה להיות כבר בו. אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יגיע. אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יבוא. אני נולדתי לשלום שרק יופיע. אני רוצה להיות כבר בו.
I waited until this moment because I want to light the candle now. Around not Yom Ha'atzmaut for anything other than a vision of the future. Matisiyahu took this from a verse in Zechariah, that we sing in our synagogues around the world. You can go anywhere, you know. You can go to Serbia, go to Paris, go somewhere in Wisconsin. And at the end of the service, they'll say, V'nei Emar, as it says, Vayah Adonai b'yom hahu, and on that day God will be one. His name one, which is another way of saying all of the splits in the world will become unified. It's a vision of peace, a vision of wholeness. Maybe one day we'll get there. One day.
Sometimes I lay under the moon. I thank God I'm breathing. And I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when we feed on the souls of the innocent, blood-drenched pavement. Keep on moving though the waters stay raging. In this phase you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it lose you. No way, no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no wars. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. One day this all will change. Treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Join us. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, 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 please God, one day, one day, one
I remember growing up, and in yeshiva we used to sing the prayer every Monday and Thursday that is recited for those who Achenu Kol Beit Yisrael, our brothers and sisters who are in a narrow place, whether by air or sea or land. And in those days, I think we were praying for refuseniks in the Soviet Union at times, Anatoly Sharansky, others. It's hard to imagine that in 2024 that there are still over 100, 133 or more of brothers and sisters, children, friends who are in a very, very, very dark place. And so every morning when we wake up and we have these recommended daily allowance of blessings, I call them the 100 blessings that the rabbis instituted, Me'ah Brachot, 100 blessings. And so we wake up in the morning and we have all of these blessings. Blessed are you, source of life, who gives us free will, who makes us Jews, who makes us conscious beings, wrestlers, who gives us sight. And then we come to this blessing that's recited every day, every year. Blessed are you, source of life, who frees the bound, who releases the hostages. And you realize that all of your life you were saying it without any real kavanah, real intention, because you weren't crying. So we can't forget our brothers and sisters who are in those unimaginable places. And we have to pray to you, source of life. Holy and blessing, you have always released those who were in captivity, those who were taken. And we pray for their safe return. And we don't just say bring them home, but release them now. We call on all people of goodwill, those who are not even goodwill, people who care about their own citizens. How many citizens are from other countries are also hostages? And we should be screaming in each and every day, and there are people who are screaming each and every day, not to forget them. And so we pray, blessed are you, source of life, Baruch atah Adonai, Matir Asurim. May that blessing and that prayer come true soon. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ma'atir asurim Asurim Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ma'atir asurim
Let's rise for Hatikvah.
Kol hod balev להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים.
In Israel, it's customary between Yom Hazikaron and Yom Ha'atzmaut to do a kind of havdalah, you separate. And as we were talking amongst ourselves over the last days, planning tonight, and by the way, I just want to thank, just at this moment, thank the entire Bronfman team and the 92nd Street Y and all these remarkable prayer musicians here. There's Glenn and Daniel and Judah and Gabi and Rebecca and Shimon and Shira. It's incredible to just look around and feel the presence of people, how simple things are. Once we sing together and we're with one another in song and in some sacred way, it opens the heart. And here at the Y, I was saying that there's a Havdalah, so I wanted to do a Havdalah, but the Havdalah is between this brief pause in the last 7 months and yet again returning again to what's everywhere, and the struggle and the fight and the endurance and the perseverance and all of that it takes. But as I said at the board meeting tonight for the 92nd Street Y, we're lucky, we're privileged. Okay, so for those of us wondering, about colleges here in the United States, now that's a big deal, right? But really, we remember our brothers and sisters who are going in and out, preparing on 7 different fronts back at home. And we have a job here in the United States. We are deployed. We are deployed. It's a mad world out there. But at 4:45 this afternoon, we took shrapnel from an Iron Dome missile that had been converted into a mezuzah, a sacred protective amulet placed on doorposts to remind us that our ancestors walked through doors much more difficult than the ones we must walk through. And right outside where there were protesters heckling Jews who came to speak from the 92nd Street Y stage just a couple of months ago, saying horrific things to our people walking out of the 92nd Street Y, we put that mezuzah on that doorpost, that we might be strengthened in our unwavering belief in our way of life as a people dedicated to building a world in love, dedicated to building a world on the basis of liberal values, where all of humanity is seen, B'Tselem Elohim, created in the divine image. We still hold that dream and that vision. We still hold that power that we have. Am Yisrael is chai, is alive. And so we wanted to do Havdalah this way, to take the verse from Psalms that says, Olam chesed yibaneh, the world is built with chesed, with love. And sometimes love looks like protecting our children so that no October 7th ever will take place again, ever. And God willing, we hope and pray that with chesed and with loving kindness and peace, that the world will one day be a place where not only Jews but all people are free and all people are safe and secure. That's a vision that we hold tonight and every day. So thank you all for coming. And thank you all for crying and singing and remembering Vivian. And dedicating ourselves towards Atzmaut, towards freedom, empowerment, and life itself. If you know this song, please sing with us.
עולם חסד ייבנה Ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da. Olam chesed yibane, ya-la-la-la-la, ya-la-la-la. Olam chesed yibane, ya-la-la-la, ya-la-la-la. Olam chesed yibane, ya-la-la-la, ya-la-la-la. I will build this world from love. Oh, ya la la, ya la, ya la la. And you must build. And you must build this world from love. Ya la la, ya la la. And if we build this world, and if we build this world from love, ya la la, ya la, ya la la, then God will build this world. Oh, God will build this world from love. Ya la la, ya la, ya la la, hey, olam chesed yibane, ya la la, ya la la, olam chesed yibane, olam chesed yibane, ya la la, ya la, ya la la. Chesed yibane, ya la la, ya la la. Olam chesed yibane, ya la la, ya la la. I will build. I will build this world from love. Ya-da-da, ya-da, ya-da-da-da. And you must build, and you must build this world from love. Ya-da-da, ya-da, ya-da-da-da. And if we build, and if we build this world from love, ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da, then God will build this world from love, ya-da-da-da-da.
Not only do I want to thank all of you for being here tonight and all of those who are watching or will watch online, I want to also invite all of you, if you've never been to a program here at the Y that is from the Bronfman Center for Jewish Life, if it's your first time here, we welcome you. If it's not your first time here, we'd like to see more of you. Jewish life here at the Y has been an absolutely important and vital, essential core piece of what the Y does. And it matters so much when people show up in person to sing with us, to learn with us. So please check out the website and see what else is happening here. And if you have it in you at this moment as we leave, maybe as we're walking out the doors, say hello to somebody and say thank you for being here, whatever it is, just introduce yourselves. It really helps make this place more Hamish, which is part of my agenda. I want the Y to be more Hamish. And those who know what that means know what I'm saying, right? So Hamish, And we wish each and every one of you, I actually will say this last thing, Friday night, which is this coming Friday night, we have a Friday night Shabbat service called Oneg. If you haven't heard about it, it's a wonderful opportunity to both have a worship service for an hour and then eat with people and have community and sing together. So we invite you to that. We thank you all for being here. And again, thanks to everybody. And
Thank you, Rabbi David.
Chag Sameach. Chag Sameach.
Lu yehi, lu yehi, ana lu yehi,
כל שנבקש,
lu yehi, lu yehi, lu yehi, ana lu yehi, kol שנבקש, lu yehi. עוד יש מפרש לבן באופן מול ענן שחור כבד כל שמבקש לו יהי ואם בחלונות הערב אור נרות החג רואה כל שמבקש לו יהי לו יהי כל שנבקש, לו